What if the parts of ourselves we hide away are actually holding the key to our greatest growth? Imagine a treasure chest, locked tight and buried deep within you. It's not filled with glittering gold or precious jewels in the way you might think. Instead, it holds something far more valuable, the parts of yourself you've pushed into the shadows. The feelings you don't want to feel, the thoughts you'd rather ignore, the memories that sting. We all have them. We tuck them away, hoping they'll disappear, much like hiding a toy under the bed and pretending it's gone. But these hidden pieces don't vanish. They linger, like ghosts in the attic of our minds, influencing us in ways we don't always understand. They whisper to us in our dreams, trip us up in our relationships, and sometimes, they burst forth in angry shouts or sudden sadness. It's a strange paradox, isn't it? The very things we try to keep secret, the parts of us we deem not good enough, or too much, are precisely what need our attention the most. They aren't meant to be forgotten, they're meant to be faced. This isn't about being perfect. It's about being whole. The brilliant thinker Carl Jung taught us that truly understanding ourselves means looking into these darker, hidden corners. He called this the shadow. It's not just the bad stuff, it can also be the good qualities we've suppressed because we're afraid to shine too brightly. Think of a superhero who hides. Think of a superhero who hides their true strength, fearing it might cause harm. This is where we must be clear: shadow work is not a bubble bath and scented candles kind of self-care. It's not about gentle affirmations or simply wishing away what hurts. No, shadow work is a deep dive, a challenging journey into the darker, less comfortable parts of ourselves. It's like exploring an old, forgotten basement in your mind, dusty, perhaps a little spooky, and full of things you've left untouched for years. Imagine yourself as an explorer, holding a flickering lamp. You're not going into a sunny meadow, you're venturing into the depths of your own being, seeking out what has been hidden. This isn't a spa day, it's an expedition. It demands courage, a willingness to get a little dirty, and the bravery to feel things you might have been running from your whole life. It's facing the anger you've buried, the sadness you've ignored, the jealousy you pretend doesn't exist. It's also finding the forgotten talents, the suppressed joy, the quiet wisdom that got lost in the shuffle of life. Many people hear self-care and think of relaxation, comfort, and ease. And while those things are important for our well-being, shadow work is a different beast entirely. It's the kind of work that strengthens your soul, not just soothes your nerves. It's a profound act of self-love, yes, but it's a tough love. It asks you to look at your own ugliness, your own fears, and your own mistakes, not to wallow in them, but to understand them. To bring them into the light so they can stop controlling you from the dark. This is the path to true inner freedom, but it's a path less traveled because it requires facing what we often fear most, ourselves. Think of the old stories, the myths and fables that echo through time. Many of them tell of a hero's journey, a brave soul who must leave the safety of home to face a fearsome monster. But what if that monster isn't lurking in a dark cave or a far-off land? What if it lives within the hero himself? Consider the ancient Greek myth of Perseus and Medusa. Medusa was a terrifying creature with snakes for hair, whose gaze turned men to stone. Perseus was sent to slay her, a seemingly outward quest. But in a deeper sense, Medusa can be seen as a symbol of the hero's own shadow, the paralyzing fears, the hidden ugliness, the aspects of himself he dared not look at directly. To defeat her, Perseus couldn't just rush. Perseus couldn't just rush in blindly. He needed a polished shield, a mirror, to see Medusa's reflection without being turned to stone. This mirror is a beautiful symbol for how we interact with our own shadow. We often can't look at it directly, but we see its reflections all around us, especially in our daily lives. Have you ever met someone who just gets under your skin? Someone whose tiny habit or personality quirk fills you with disproportionate annoyance or even rage? That feeling, that strong reaction, is often a mirror showing you a piece of your own shadow. This is called projection. We see in others what we deny in ourselves. If you can't stand someone's arrogance, it might be because you have your own suppressed desire for recognition, or perhaps a fear of your own grandness. If you judge someone for being lazy, it might be a part of your own desire for rest that you never allow yourself. Our shadow also speaks to us in the mysterious language of dreams. Recurring dreams, especially those where you are chased, trapped, or confronted by shadowy figures, are messages from this hidden part of you, begging for your attention. They are not random, they are trying to show you what you've been avoiding. The importance of acknowledging and integrating this shadow cannot be overstated. When we push away parts of ourselves, trying to pretend they don't exist, we don't actually get rid of them. Instead, they gain power in the dark. Imagine holding a beach ball underwater. It takes a lot of effort to keep it down, and the moment you let go, it shoots to the surface. Our suppressed shadow is like that beach ball, always pushing for recognition. If we keep ignoring it, if we refuse to shine a light into those dusty corners of our minds, the shadow doesn't just stay quiet. It acts out. This can lead to what we call self-sabotage. You might find yourself making the same mistakes over and over, ruining good things in your life without understanding why. You might have unexpected outbursts of anger that seem to come from nowhere, or sudden waves of sadness that leave you feeling lost. It's the shadow, demanding to be heard, often in destructive ways. This constant battle to keep parts of ourselves hidden also leaves us feeling incomplete. Like a puzzle with missing pieces, we sense that something vital is absent, even if we can't quite name it. We might achieve outward success, have loving relationships, or appear happy to the world, but inside, there's a quiet ache, a nagging feeling that we aren't fully ourselves. This feeling of incompleteness is the soul's cry for integration, a yearning to bring all the scattered pieces of our being back together. It's a heavy burden to carry, living only partially. But what happens when we finally turn and face that internal monster, that beach ball pushing for air? The shift can be profound. When we choose to look at our shadow, not with judgment, but with curiosity, something incredible happens. We gain greater self-awareness. We begin to understand why we react the way we do, why certain situations trigger us, and why we sometimes act against our own best interests. This self-awareness isn't about blaming ourselves, it's about gaining clarity. With clarity comes compassion, not just for others, but for ourselves. We start to understand that our flaws are often just wounded parts of us trying to protect us, or aspects that simply haven't been given a chance to grow in a healthy way. This understanding softens our hearts. When you recognize your own struggles, your own hidden fears, it becomes easier to see those same struggles in others. That person who irritates you. You might suddenly see their behavior not as a personal attack, but as a reflection of their own unacknowledged shadow. This empathy builds bridges, both within ourselves and in our relationships with the world. And then, there's personal power. True power doesn't come from pretending to be perfect or from suppressing what's uncomfortable. It comes from owning all of who you are, the light and the dark, the strengths and the vulnerabilities. This integration of all aspects of yourself is what Jung called individuation, becoming the unique, whole person you were meant to be. It's a journey that extends beyond our personal experiences, connecting us to something much larger. Jung also spoke of the collective unconscious, a deep, shared wellspring of human experience that all of us draw from. Think of it like a vast, ancient library of stories, symbols, and patterns that exist in every person, no matter where they are from. The shadow, in a way, is a personal expression of these universal patterns. The fears, the desires, the heroic and monstrous archetypes we. The text explains Jung's concept of individuation as becoming a whole, unique person, connecting to the collective unconscious, a shared reservoir of universal patterns and symbols. The individual shadow is a personal reflection of these deeper, archetypal forces. This journey into the shadow is much like an archaeological dig within your own soul. Imagine a hidden chamber deep within an ancient ruin, filled not with dust, but with forgotten parts of your essence. To uncover these treasures, you can't just wish them into being. You must bring a shovel, a pickaxe, and a lamp. You must be willing to dig through layers of old beliefs, past hurts, and societal expectations. It's about shining a light into those forgotten corners of your psyche, not to judge what you find, but simply to see it, to acknowledge its presence. This work requires immense courage. It's easy to stay on the surface, to live in the sunny, well-lit rooms of our personality. It's comfortable there. But true growth, true wholeness, often lies in the shadows. It means being willing to feel uncomfortable, to sit with the unsettling truth of your own imperfections, your own capacity for darkness. It's not a pleasant stroll, it's a descent. You might encounter fear, sadness, shame, or even aspects of yourself that feel monstrous. These feelings are not to be avoided. They are the signposts that you are on the right path. Each uncomfortable moment, each tear shed, each moment of raw honesty, is a step closer to integration. It's about saying, yes, this is also me, even to the parts you'd rather disown. This isn't about wallowing, it's about witnessing. The text likens shadow work to an archaeological dig within the soul, requiring courage and a willingness to explore uncomfortable inner chambers filled with forgotten aspects of oneself. This process of witnessing, rather than judging, these hidden parts is essential for true growth and wholeness. A common fear about shadow work is that by acknowledging our darker side, we might become that darkness. People worry that if they accept their anger, they'll become an angry person, or if they embrace their selfishness, they'll turn into a purely self-centered individual. But this is a misunderstanding. Integrating the shadow doesn't mean becoming bad. It means becoming conscious. It means understanding the roots of these impulses, so you can choose how to act, rather than being controlled by them from the unconscious. Think of a river. If you try to block the river's flow completely, it will eventually overflow its banks, causing chaos. But if you understand the river, if you build channels and direct its energy, it can become a source of life and power. Our shadow is similar. If you deny your anger, it might erupt unexpectedly at the wrong person or time. But if you understand the source of that anger, you can learn to express it in healthy ways, or even transform it into passionate action for something you believe in. Integrating the shadow is about acceptance, not approval of harmful behavior. It's about saying, yes, this capacity exists within me, and then consciously deciding how you will engage with that capacity. It allows you to transform what was once a destructive, hidden force into a source of wisdom and strength. It's about owning your entire spectrum of humanity, realizing that even our so-called flaws often contain dormant gifts. For example, a deep-seated fear might also hold the seed of great caution and wisdom. A tendency towards envy might point to a strong desire for personal achievement. When we understand this, we stop fighting ourselves and start to nurture all parts of who we are, leading to a profound sense of inner peace and completeness. Shadow work involves courageously exploring and witnessing uncomfortable inner aspects for growth and wholeness, not to become bad, but to consciously understand and integrate all parts of oneself. This acceptance transforms hidden destructive forces into wisdom and strength. Our relationships are perhaps the most powerful mirrors for our shadow. Think about the people who frustrate you the most, or those you admire deeply. Often, what we see in them, both good and bad, is a reflection of something within ourselves that we have either denied or not yet fully embraced. The irritating habit of a friend, the quality you envy in a colleague, the consistent type of partner you attract, these are all clues. They are whispers from your own unconscious, trying to show you aspects of your shadow that need attention. For example, if you find yourself constantly annoyed by someone who is very loud and attention-seeking, it might be that you have suppressed your own desire to be seen and heard. Perhaps you were taught it was bad to be too boisterous, and now that vibrant energy is locked away in your shadow, projecting itself onto others. Or, if you deeply admire someone's unwavering confidence, it might highlight your own hidden power and self-assurance that you haven't yet dared to claim. Our relationships, then, become sacred spaces for self-discovery, offering countless opportunities to recognize and integrate our shadow. They are not always easy lessons, but they are profound. However, it's important to understand that shadow work is not a one-time event, like fixing a broken toy. You don't just do shadow work once and then you're done. It's an ongoing journey, a lifelong process of discovery and integration. Think of it like tending a garden. You don't just plant seeds once and then leave it forever. A garden needs constant care, weeding, watering, pruning, and adapting to the changing seasons. New weeds will always sprout, new flowers will bloom, and the garden will constantly evolve. New challenges will arise, new parts of you will awaken, and the work of integrating them into your conscious self will continue. This ongoing nature is not a burden, it's an invitation to a lifetime of profound self-discovery and deepening wisdom. Each time you face a new aspect of your shadow, you become more whole, more authentic, and more truly yourself. It's a continuous unfolding, a sacred dance between the known and the unknown within you. So, as we bring our reflection to a close, I invite you to pause. To take a quiet moment and look inward. What hidden parts of yourself are waiting to be seen? What feelings have you pushed away? What truths have you avoided? And most importantly, what wisdom do they hold for you? Perhaps it's a forgotten dream, a buried talent, or a strength you never knew you possessed. Maybe it's a wound that, once healed, will become a source of profound empathy. The shadow isn't just about darkness, it's about untapped potential, waiting for the light of your awareness. Shadow work is an ongoing journey of integrating new aspects of oneself, leading to continuous self-discovery and wisdom rather than being a one-time fix. The text concludes by inviting introspection, urging readers to consider what hidden parts of themselves and their potential wisdom await acknowledgement. Take a deep breath. Feel the ground beneath you. Remember that the journey inward is the most heroic quest you will ever undertake. It is a path to profound self-discovery, not of perfection, but of completeness. It is here, in the quiet depths of your own being, that you will find the strength to truly live, to love more fully, and to stand in the radiant wholeness of your authentic self. The answers you seek are not out there, but within, waiting for you to simply turn and face them. This inner journey is the ultimate act of courage, and the greatest gift you can give to yourself and to the world.